So let us start our journey. In these sessions, we are going little by little deeper and deeper. So you have to pick up the message of these masters. So I give a title today: Formally Reject Any Kind of Pleasure from the World to Find Real Self. That is one title. I can give another title as Intellect Rejects the Projection of the Mind and Finds Happiness. Now you see that both title are the same. Both title are the same. In one I say reject, and in other I say what I say. I say that intellect rejects the projection of the mind and finds happiness. So this rejection does not mean what we understand in the world outside. It simply means that am I aware of the projection of the mind which is seeking happiness from the world outside. So this rejection should come from the intellect, from an understanding, from a clarity. Because if it does not come with the clarity, there will always be a problem. So here rejection means that you do not care if the mind says pleasure is there in the world. You don't care. Why you don't care? Because the intellect has a power of discernment and intellect has a power of dispassion. There is an internal realization. You eat food, yes, it's very good, it's very tasty, but internal awareness is there that pleasure is not there outside. That is the that is how our masters uses the word rejection. Rejection has nothing to do with suppression. It has nothing to do with any kind of reaction. So rejection comes with an understanding. It comes that, oh, I record and remember. So that recalling and remembering, my master and every master used to say, a consistent listening and learning to reach to elevate our level of consciousness. Did you change yourself over these years? Is there more calmness, peace, in the joy inside? Do you respond, not react outside? Did you find any change in your behavior and attitude? Did you find that you have reduced your anxiety, anger, and the pressure? You have understood fully busy means that mind is constantly reacting and agitating. You wake up, you wake up early in the morning, and the first thing you remember, oh, I am calm. Calmness is inside. Happiness is inside. Why I'm saying so? You have been attending these sessions, and if you find these changes, then obviously you are moving towards becoming a seeker. I know for Terry sure that how she does not react to her maid now. So, yes, yes. So you are a seeker. You are a seeker. You see, in these serious problems, my mind forgets me what I'm doing. By anxiety, by getting angry, I'm increasing my problem. Are you getting it? That makes you a seeker. Huh? Seeker does not mean that you wear the orange colored cloth and then uh, huh? No. So what master says, this what the master says I covered 2 weeks ago. Sing, sing, and sing. You have to extract the meaning. Why we sing? When you are unhappy, do you sing? When you are angry, do you sing? No. Ah, you sing when your mind is carefree. Oh, today I got this thing. But what I got the satisfaction from the world outside. That is why I'm singing. A seeker's mind is singing when you find the joy inside. You find the joy inside. Are you getting it? So the master is saying, sing and sing and sing all the time. What? Well, life is an opportunity. Life is always an opportunity. So you sing means recall and remember those principles, in order to instantly bring about a change in your mind. Mind contains millions and trillions of impressions. It is not easy to change in one day. Not possible. Not possible. We carried forward millions and trillions of our anxiety, reaction, duality, and a conflict, and that is already accumulated. So that is why the master is saying, singing, singing. So singing has another meaning also. So singing means that I recall the discernment and dispassion. I recall the calmness is inside. I recall the calmness is not outside. Oh, let me do this work and then I will be calm. The work will never come to an end in this world as long as we live. You wake up in the morning and you have five things to do, and suddenly you have an extreme headache which cannot be controlled. Now you call the doctor and take an appointment. Doctor says, I don't have time. The world offers, because of these impressions, idea of rejection, of a blame, and of complaint. I have to understand this. So singing word, one, and the second is the rejection. Second is the rejection. I'm coming to the main topic slowly. Main topic of the verse. So understand that rejection does not mean in Eastern wisdom that you are reacting, you are getting frustrated. It has to know rejection or the pleasure is not outside, happiness is inside. Happiness is inside. You formally ask the intellect to, to enter into the mind. That is the process of discernment and dispassion. Uh, the second, I always, do you remember the equation? Did it bring some changes in your life? Happiness is equal to desire fulfilled divided by sub desires to be entertained to keep that happiness alive. But that happiness will be dead. That happiness will die. You have achieved something. Say you have eaten the pasta that you like. The pleasure is there during the eating, but now I want to keep that happiness and the pleasure. I want to continue. How I can continue? Oh, pasta is so good. It is very good. You know, the spices are balanced. Really, well, any food. We start praising. This is going to create more impression in your mind. You have to. But then I'm living a personal and professional life. So what should I do? Appreciate internally. Just have a play and fun. Oh, it's very good. Finished. But maintain your awareness. So you reject it in your intellect. Pleasure is not outside, it is inside. And that is going to bring about a transformation in your life. Projected happiness. Happiness outside is a projection. It is an imagined, and you continue to entertain your sub desires. What is the result? Delusion. But the pleasure does not continue all the time. And if it does not continue all the time, then what is the result? Frustration. Today I ate pasta. Does you still have the same kind of a pleasure now? No. So I'm frustrated by remembering, by thinking. I'm giving pasta as in one example. It it goes to sexual desire. It goes to any kind, anything, anything. I'm adding one word here that many masters have used it, and I'm using the word as it is. So, do you remember the first factor of the word is suffering? The foolishness. Foolishness comes when the desire becomes, sub desire becomes violent. It is constantly pushing you, demanding you internally. And because it becomes violent, so the mind keeps wandering on the projected happiness in the world. How many, there are so many pleasures that I receive from the world. And can we really categorize these pleasures from the that we receive from the world so I can remember? You're sitting comfortably, that also gives you the pleasure. You're eating the food, gives you pleasure. You buy something new, that gives you the pleasure. Someone appreciate, that gives you the pleasure. You look at these professors, these masters are par excellence in their teaching and passing on the message. They are contributing to the human evolution. That is the best part. So the master say, you list all kinds of pleasures since you wake up in the morning until you retire to the bed. And you will be surprised that you will recall hundreds kinds of pleasure, depending on your understanding and depending on what level of a seeker you are. Minimum, I'm selling a minimum 100 kinds of pleasures. This is also giving me pleasure. I'm sitting comfortably. Oh, the computer is working fine. That's a very subtle level of pleasure so that I can continue talking. You look at me and give a smile. That is also a pleasure. It is also coming from outside. Food. Do you see that? Why we have to listen and understand consistently until we evolve our consciousness. So the master says that all pleasures can be divided into three groups. And the acronym is TTR. I'll give you TTR. So Sanskrit word, one T means trapti, other T means tusti, and R means rati. We'll understand the meaning. All, so what I have to do, I have to remember, I'm frustrated. Okay, which of the TTR is causing the problem here? See the beauty of this. So first understand the tusti. So let us take rati first, or you can say RTT. Anyway, rati. All kinds of sensual pleasures comes under the category of rati. All kinds of sensual pleasure, sex, all kinds of, which is one of them. Rati refers to the happiness that I derive from the sensual pleasure and carnal enjoyments. I enjoy in the sensory delight. Sensory delight, not only the sex, intoxication is also there. Other physical pleasures are also there. When there is a sense of obsession, then this rati is going to attack your intellect and makes you blind. Blind means foolishness. All the nine factors will return. So should I stop it? The higher journey of a seeker, see, understand it. Are you acting out of obsession, or are you acting just for the sake of acting? When you become a very higher level of a seeker, you start comparing this sensual pleasure is like a penny versus $1 billion of happiness inside. So there comes a transformation in your life. Are you getting it? I compared a penny of pleasure, all these sensual pleasure, compared to $1 billion of happiness that comes from inside. Your intellect discerns in that way. It has such a clarity. So that is the first. So first, you can categorize, constantly work, even let the intellect think, oh, this pleasure, oh, this comes into this category. This pleasure comes into this category. This pleasure. That is the beginning. Second is the tushti. Tushti. T. RTT. Tushti means the happiness from the possessions. Happiness from all kinds of possessions. I was just, I glanced through, I opened the Edge browser, and the first article was that, I like to divorce my husband, but the problem of $1 million is there. Because if I divorce, half of the money will go to him, and I don't want it. American life. So I read it and I said, this is a good, good topic. So happiness from the possessions. Tushti is the happiness that comes from acquiring and possessing material objects and the wealth. Material objects and the wealth. I'm not concerned, even if I get $500,000, I have to organize my life in $500,000 to live happily. But I'm more concerned that why the other half is going to. Do you see? Do you see that? Happiness, tushti, tushti. We are talking about only three types of the pleasures that catches our attention of the mind, and that creates the world of suffering. And if the mind of this woman changes, she says, now I will continue to live. I love you, honey, so much. The first time we got married, and now I have the same love. Your problem is gone. But the problem comes because of the possession. Do you see that? Understanding is required, internal. So it is the satisfaction derived from sometimes owning luxurious items. We already see, we already read what Jeff Bezos owns and what other people owns. Having a large bank balance or being surrounded by it wails. Tushti is all these pleasures are temporary. Remember this. Three types of pleasure, all the pleasures are temporary. Delusion occurs when person become excessively attached to their. Should I not earn money? Yes, I should earn money. But if I see happiness is lying in my bank account, happiness is lying in my car, happiness is lying in protecting the money from the person who is going to be divorced. Do you see that? So this is the second type of the pleasure we are caught. I have to reject. I have to reject. I made it very clear. And the third is tripti. Tripti, pleasure from the food and the clothes. Food and the clothes. Because if you are wearing a costly watch, so it comes under happiness from the possessions. So there, the happiness from the food and the clothes. Tripti refers to the happiness experienced from satisfying basic needs such as hunger. Basic need is hunger. No, I'm so lucky. And the fact is that uh, all the students, especially the private students, they send me the email, and you can also send the email if you have any challenges, and you have been sending it. So every time I receive the message, I can really connect to the session. So this women said, now I'm aging. I have lot of information about keto diet, less, low carb, high protein, etc., etc. So she wrote about 10 things, and I'm totally confused. My digestive system is already out of. I'm not saying that don't follow the science. Don't follow the science. So I am not looking the need for food. I'm looking for desire for food, and my mind is twisted. You might be thinking, no, no, I don't have this. You have to examine closely your life, and you will find out pleasure from the food and the clothes, pleasure from the possessions, pleasure from sensual pleasures. In all these cases, when that desire projected happiness is to be fulfilled, it causes the delusion. So you have to remember that equation, and you have to remember the word rejection. Rejection means I have to recall, I have to remember, I have to remember. I've been eating sweets for years together, for example, 10, 15 years. So that sweetness has to become a poison. So what happens? Now I say sugar is a poison. Sugar was sweet before and it is still sweet. Do you see the delusion? The same thing. One day, the same bank balance becomes the poison. About the women. Look at it. The journey of a life of a seeker, it is internalization of that knowledge and living into that knowledge. So the master says, contribute that. If you have excess wealth, then contribute it. So what happens? Instead of being a consumer, you become a contributor. So when you are not a consumer, you become more and more aware of these three kinds of a pleasure. See? So that's another psychological aspect, deeper aspect. Do I have do I have extra money to contribute? I'm just giving an example of this. So when you start thinking, your mind in delusion thinks that no, I don't have extra money. to contribute. After all, you both lived for 10, 15 years together, and now you are thinking how to grab the entire money. So that is why you see, if I divorce, so when I don't have that mindset of being a contributor, now you have everything, you possess everything, and still you are frustrated. You are frustrated. Think, my friends, even small things. I'm not talking of $1 million, even small things in our life, in relationship with our husband and a wife and a family and our friends. So basics behind it that I have to reject by understanding that am I seeking the pleasure from outside? In this pleasure is of three kinds, three types. You can categorize all kinds of pleasure. If you remember something, you can tell me. I will put into one of these three categories. Rati, Tripti, and Trishti. TTR or RTT? RTT. And I can bet you apply this RTT, understanding of the RTT for just 1 week, 24 by 7. The next week you are a different person. You will see, oh, peace is always there, calmness is there, joy is there. Because I'm not getting these three kinds of the pleasure. So take food, for example. So I'm concerned, I'm worried. No, I didn't get the food that I like, that I taste, or sensual pleasure, or possession. Think. The master is saying, sing, sing, and sing. These principles, the mind is crazy. The mind will return to these three kinds of the pleasure again and again. And then you will start applying the equation. And when you start applying the equation, it is going to cause you the problem. That includes anxiety and duality and a conflict or enmity or a reaction. I gave you two examples. One, one woman with the food pleasure and the other women with. I lived with that person for 10 years, 10 or 12 years. What I just glanced through it. So you see that you still read that information, but you use that information as a seeker. You don't start thinking, oh, there. So I have also to think I have a lot of differences with my honey. You start thinking in a negative after reading the news. You see that. So that is why listening and learning and contemplation and reflection helps you a great deal. Think, sing, sing, and sing. Sing, sing, sing. Something happened in Ashok's life, and I said, no, stop this nonsense. He stopped it, and the life changed. It can happen. No, honey means it can happen with your husband or a wife. It can happen with your son or daughter. It can happen with your friend. So in the midst of these suffering comes because I have I am seeking the pleasure. I'm applying that equation. Sub desires to be fulfilled. At that time, I reject these pleasures based on understanding these three kinds of a pleasure is causing me the trouble, and you are happy. So when you are happy, then solve the problem. Then solve the problem. Then you get an insight and intuition. You know what needs to be done. Let us close your eyes. Close your eyes. and find out the most comfortable position, place of the place of the body. Become aware of the space all around and hmm, all around, and see that place, position, and posture. You already know. I'm not going there. Being comfortable. So, you know, you can instantly, I say sing means recall. So the moment I say uh, recall, being comfortable, what you do, you just move your mind on the entire body or all the joints of the body and ask the mind, put the mind into the service. Am I experiencing sensation, the whole body, comfort and steadiness? Yes. Yes, teacher, I'm ready. Go ahead. Being carefree. Can you recall any of the metaphor? Standing across a road, highway, and watching the traffic, the birds flying in the sky. Okay, oh, I remember. All the thoughts are coming now here and there. Let me let it come and go. My mind is moving on the practice. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. We are covering the Mangala Charan on the Saturday's session. So use this mantra as a Mangala Charan. We went very deeply into it. You see, every step has its story. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. If your mind says, I have learnt it, I don't want to repeat it, you are not a seeker. Who doesn't want calm and happiness? Do you see that? So you have very fine threads of the mind. You challenge it, you reject it. May there be happiness for all. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. One woman in the New Jersey told me that why the heck you are always talking about peace and happiness? Don't you have any other subject to talk about? Do you see her mind rejects it totally in a different way? Why it is rejecting? RTT. I didn't say anything to her. I said, you're right. And I have to change my way. May there be peace for all. You have that layer of ignorance in the mind must be dissolved completely once and for all. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. I told you, completeness contains everything. Incompleteness causes the desire to seek happiness from outside. But outside is imagined and projected happiness. And that causes the sense of incompleteness. A sense of completeness, I drop RTT. By understanding. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Now that happiness, may there be happiness for all, may there be peace for all, may there be completeness for all. What happens? Where the mind moves into the auspiciousness, it does not remind and recall the RTT. And the moment you recall it, you have a frustration. You have some sense of frustration will always be there. And now looking deep inside the forehead in the space, you are dropping Om Shanti gently. How you drop Om Shanti? Mentally. Om Shanti. without moving the lips and the tongue. Om Shanti, Om Shanti. So once you know the stillness of the body is there, awareness of the space is there, dropping of Om Shanti is there, then bring the active part. Start breathing into the belly this time. Let us leave the chest breathing. Longer breath. Longer breath into the belly. Should I make you aware of something more? You are doing the breathing almost, you are practicing this kind of a meditation every day throughout the year, 365 days. Will it help you to get rid of the cold in the cough? Just check it if you have been doing it. Longer breath into the belly expands and the belly contracts. Om Shanti continues in the stillness in the body, continues. No, no, but my mind is resisting endurance. Your intellect says, I will endure for my better life. I will endure to get rid of the RTT. Should I think? Yes. But meditation says non thinking. Yes, non thinking comes later. So that gives you the endurance and you continue the journey. You do not stop it. So, what will happen? On any day, you will discover, oh, it's a joy of doing, I can continue doing it. And then, joy of being. Where is the joy of being? You are a non doer. You are still breathing and you see, oh, it's a play and a fun. That means you are already settled into a meditative state. Very subtle, very easily explained, but takes time to achieve that result. Long breath into the belly. I say hissing sound so that your mind maintains your awareness and attention. Oh, is that way? Yes. It remembers I have to get out of this RTT. And suddenly your mind stops the breathing and your mind has gone somewhere else and you forget it. What is this RTT? I'm just making you aware in a different way. And then you remember, you start doing it. And then comes the resistance, and you cannot counter the resistance. Then you stop it again. So that is the way the mind works in ignorance, in delusion. Come on, continue, continue, continue. Continue breathing, continue Om Shanti, continue the stillness in the body. So you can easily check if the mind is going somewhere else or your mind has a natural focus on these three aspects and you are doing it. And stop this. Pay attention to the flow of the breath. You already know it. I want, why I'm continuing with the more or less the same steps. I'm going to change this so that this practice becomes yours. Even without listening to the audio, you do the practice with understanding. So you are paying attention to the flow of the breath in the state of total stillness in the body that keeps the mind living within and in discernment and dispassion. Even if any thought comes, you know how to deal with it. At the same time, you are enjoying the flow of the breath is equal. It happens on a given day to any one of you or to all. And if that happens, we are evolving, we are rising in consciousness. See, so you see that we made clear the indications. Your mind is fully engaged, absorbed, and that goes a long way in the journey of our self discovery. Now, looking inside the forehead again, paying it, dropping Om Shanti, stillness in the body, and this time both breathing both from the belly and the rib cage. It's a very long, deep, and the hissing breath. As long as deep you can inhale. So, how we know that we are breathing deep and the long? First, you inhale into the belly, continue inhaling into the rib cage, exhale from the belly and exhale from the rib cage. So, one after the other. So, you are tuning your mind to follow this rhythm. Long, deep, and the hissing breath. Long, deep, and the hissing breath, please continue. Just making you aware that you continue to inhale, pay attention that you are inhaling into the belly and when we do it for a longer period, the mind tends to feel the sense of blankness, emptiness. It's good. long, deep in the hissing Om Shanti continues, you will discover that what are the challenges that you have during these breathing practices. If you do it regularly, it will drop down. Let the time come, we will drop this breathing step also. And stop this again. Pay attention to the flow of the nostrils from each nostril. And if you find the flow of the breath is less in one nostril, just keep on paying attention. I'm saying it intentionally. What otherwise you will remain aware of the flow of the breath from both the nostrils. Paying more attention means that you are just attentive of the flow of the breath. So our master says in the Tantra, where the mind goes, there the energy flows. So why I say intentionally, you are paying more attention to the flow of the breath, which has less flow, because you're paying more attention. So the flow of the energy will be more, in turn, it will balance. At a subtler level. And now start breathing deep, silent, slow. Make it sure that the breath is silent. First goes into the belly, then you continue to inhale and expand your rib cage. You exhale from the belly, from the rib cage, but we have to give the mind a direction. So the moment you inhale, moving the mind from the top center of the head inside to the spine, reaching to the tailbone and singing in your mind, Om Shanti comes to an end when the end of the inhalation. So again, when you exhale, Om, mind rises above into the spine, tailbone reaches to the top center of the head. This is what I have told you the nyasa. You remember, you may recall. The breath is the car. Mind, you ask the mind to sit in the car, and you are sitting inside. What you are doing? Om Shanti. And physical body is the physical body of the car. So where we are driving beyond RTT. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. And now leave this step 16 segments of your fingers. You start dropping Om Shanti on each segment of a finger without physically touching it. With physically touching it means it's the mind's eye, it's the mind's ear, it's mind's touch, it's the mind's tongue is saying. So all the senses are within the mind. In fact, they are within the mind. But we don't perform any physical activity. Hence, the mind withdraws within. Om Shanti, Om Shanti. And take your time. Say sometime your mind is deeply absorbed. It will say Om Shanti, Om Shanti. It may say like this. And that segment of a finger, you may find a tremendous energy sensation. And sometime by naturally saying, so you see, in this step, the indication is that the entire hand, the palm, is filled with the energy. You know, those people who do Reiki or pranic healing, they use this energy. But first, we should awaken to this energy. It happens. So every time you do Om Shanti and you feel the energy there, and then what happens? Then the time comes, anytime you simply say Om Shanti, your mind goes to the hands and it feels the energy. Or sensation. Sensation is also a form of energy. And now leave this step also. Moving the mind inside the cave of the heart, visualize the triangle of any equilateral triangle of any color pointing upward. And you already know you're moving the mind on a triangle, dropping Om Shanti on each side. And couple of times you will find there is a sync. Means mind side of a triangle Om Shanti flows without any objection from the mind. The mind is already out of RTT, and now that is the time. Repushing the mind by saying Om deeply into the cave of your heart. Mind seemingly stops. It appears it stops. What it means? It means that I am into a new level of awareness. And then you say Shanti and leave everything. You remain into that state. I don't want to say it is to its state of emptiness or mindfulness. Oh, we will understand that. Well, if the mind breaks this rhythm, you return to the triangle, sink, and return again. Don't create a panic in the mind. Oh, I lost it, I missed it. No. Shanti. You have done it, and absorption is there. And it's a conscious absorption. It is not that I'm saying what is happening to you. You know it consciously, what is happening. And that is how you share your experiences. Oh, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. How are you, Stephen?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
um, RTT was very helpful today. Another tool in order to um, self-reflect and measure the difference between desire and necessity. Um, and I found that to really resonate with me because I just like making those comparisons in very small um, segments. But the meditation itself today was I'm glad you said something about feeling the energy because it was extremely energetic. There was just a lot of movement. I had my fingers of my hands in my lap touching, and
Yeah.
I could just feel the vibration going through my fingers and then through my arm and into my heart center, and then dispersed through to my crown, and then down to my legs. And it was an interesting feeling, which I really recognized it, but just wanted to let it go. I wanted to just be in the moment. And what I noticed is that every time this charge was going on, I kept getting colder and colder in my body, and then had to keep repeating to myself, I'm not the body. So it was very easy to bring myself back into just a blank space and observe the energy that was flowing.
Beautiful. That's really beautiful. You grasp these subjects, topics very well. And you said you start feeling the energy. Continue to feel the energy, then you will become a Reiki master. Do you know Reiki master? Yeah, yeah. So you're doing on the 16 segments of a finger. So sometime you are sitting, you pay attention here and you say Shanti. And when you start feeling it, and then you say Om Shanti here, and will it to go to Christina, it will go there. Not a big deal, but that takes you to another direction of your life. Oh, you see that, I can control the energy. It becomes a little bit of egoistic part of it. So, how are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, very similar to Stephen's, the difference between desire and necessity using RTT was very powerful and will be very powerful. And my meditation was extremely deep. I had one thought come up and I was immediately able to apply desire to it, RTT, and it went away. And when I was doing the japa, I did have this huge warm healing feeling in my hand, and I was doing it on both my hands, the japa. So it was very I was very aware of that. So no, very deep, very good, very peaceful. Thank you.
You see, David, and everyone, did you understand one point he said that there was some thoughts popped up in the mind, and I used the RTT. So always remember the practice of meditation or mindfulness, knowledge plus practice. If the knowledge is not there, clarity is not there, the meditation normally does not succeed. Then what happens? Now, say, for example, knowledge is 20%, practice is 80%. Now, 50-50. Now, knowledge is 80% and practice is 20%. Now, knowledge is 99%. What is 1% of the practice? You close your eyes and you're there. What is that state? You think of it. How are you, Jerry?
Thank you, sir. I'm good. Yeah, the RTT was helpful. It's kind of like a direct pointer to point it inward. And during the meditation, when you said if the breathing isn't equal, then maybe bring the focus to the side that is less, the energy to the side that is less, and then that will equalize. And that thought took me to that pointer that if you find that your love or your light or your completeness or any of those areas seem lacking, then we also need to direct more focus to that inward, whatever it is that seems incomplete, but inward, never out.
Beautifully said. I told you that principle says that you can regulate the energy through the pure mind, or you can regulate the mind through the energy. This is the principle. This is the principle. So when you pay attention to the flow of the breath, it means what you are doing. You are using the mind to raise the energy level of that flow of the nostril. It is possible. But the mind has to, at that moment, the mind has to be pure. At that moment, the mind has to be pure to use the, even to do the Reiki and the pranic healing. And now I'll see that in that mind, I use Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, let everyone be happy. It is not only changing my mind, but it has an impact also the outside where I'm doing. It depends on the level of our level of being a seeker. So we can even think, I'm just giving an example. You have a little bit of problem. Oh, sometime you have a problem at home, maybe with honey means anyone with whom you are related. Can you do it mentally and see the impact? You can see the impact. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you. My mind also likes these classifications. They're like hints to start contemplation, to return the mind on track whenever it gets lost in the world outside. As far as my meditation, it was very comfortable, and the body towards the end felt so still that I almost lost the feeling of the body, and I could barely find my hands at the end.
Beautiful. I'm so happy you all are absorbing, you all are seekers, you are all absorbing these principles. One more thing, that the stillness in the body sometimes uh, makes you understand that there is no body. So normally people sometimes feel that there is an out of the body experience. Don't use that word. So stillness is a good word. Stillness and transcending. If the out of the body, then you are already gone. You should be transported to, I don't want to say. Samir, how are you?
Sir, mm, there is big change in the way I am thinking.
Good,
Before, I used to think that my daily routine is disturbing my meditation.
good.
The daily routine is against my meditation, means what I am doing in my life outside is not complementing or not supporting my
Yes,
meditation.
very good point.
But the now what is happening, that what life I am living outside is making the principles more strong in me, because daily I do meditation and daily I go outside to seek pleasure or earn money or whatever is the thing. Now I am more confident about meditation, and the principle are becoming more, mean they are settling down in my mind more and more. Now,
Yes, I will give a word to your mouth. Initially, I know a couple of years ago, you said my business life is different from the life of meditation. So now they are coming together. So now we understand that every moment in our life can be a moment of meditation while I'm living my personal life, professional life, social life. Normally, people feel this is a material world and this is the spiritual world. How can you separate it? There is no separation. So that separation is caused by the delusion, and the delusion causes the suffering. So that's a very, very, very good understanding. And that is definitely helping you to evolve. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. I appreciated the TTR today. And um, my mind, I heard Dennis think, I said, my mind gets lost often. And it surprises me after coming to regular sessions and practicing every day. And I want to take a notebook this week and write down every time I have one of these pleasures come up.
Yeah,
Because I can miss them. They're very subtle sometimes.
see, again, I appreciate that you all are seekers. You have understanding. You said, oh, let me write it down every day. where the mind seeking pleasure outside has taken me, that causes the forgetfulness, isn't it? That causes the foolishness. Do you see? That causes the attachment. All the 9 factors. And once you are simply internally aware of it. Huh? Who said? David said, there was some thought and TTR. I remember. It is gone. And that makes the life so beautiful. Beautifully said. Everyone said beautifully. How are you, Terry? Do you want to say? Yes. She's in
Um,
is
and I was wondering
yeah.
the TTR. It seemed like it was all about like money and food, but so I was wondering about something like art. Is that a pleasure that comes in that category?
All kinds of pleasure in contact with the world outside have been categorized into 3. One is R, other is T, third is T.
Yeah, no, I mean art. Like, let's say if you're an artist, if you're
Yes. You have a beautiful question. It's a very subtler level of the pleasure. In the beginning, you start receiving when you are absorbed in painting, writing a poetry, you are doing some creative pursuit, or even doing a scientific research. That tremendous natural focus takes your mind inside. So
uh-huh.
you can transmute the external pleasure to internal happiness. Yes, you're right. You touched upon a beautiful point. We have a beautiful understanding of that. So I'm just making it very, very simple. So you are totally absorbed in painting, in sculpture, in artistic pursuit, in scientific research. You see that you are totally absorbed. You are not at all concerned about anything in the external world.
Even athletics.
Yeah.
Good.
Any pursuit, any pursuit. So existence has created an opportunity for every human being. Whatever you are doing, you can find yourself.
Oh,
You can,
good.
yes. You have touched upon a very beautiful point. That's totally a different topic, but I touched upon it. Yes, it's a wonderful topic.
Okay.
How are you, Ashok? Okay.
Sir, namaste.
Namaste.
Sir, I am peace and calm and comfortable, and
Very
I am doing the Durga Sapsati. No?
good.
So
Okay.
I have uh, I have certain advancement in that.
Very good.
Suppose suppose some ladies coming, so I say Durga is coming. Some ladies going, I say Durga is going. So each and everything, I see.
Yeah.
I'm a thought only at the moment. It is thought only, but it may increase. Let us see.
Yeah. There is a text which is devoted to the consciousness force, which is known as consciousness force is known as the Shakti. So there are a lot of verses. So when you chant and recite, it becomes not only a Mangala Charan, your mind starts changing. So what he is saying, that's another beautiful change from the RTT. That is also a subject of RTT. So when you are doing that practice, regularly you are simply chanting Durga Shakti. Samir might have understood it. So what happens that you can, let me make it very simple. It is known as the verses on goddess. And one few lines of the verse, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Vishnu Shanti Rupein Sanstita. So goddess, you are you are manifesting in the form of the peace. That is why I adore you. That is why I recognize you. So now what happens? You have been doing this practice again and again. So what changes comes to the mind? Now, after maybe it is a long practice. One has to do it regularly for a couple of months and years. So I told him almost for 10, 15 years. So now he is saying that change is coming. What change is coming? So he gave one example. That's a beautiful way to say it. What change is coming? So now he perceives or he sees any women or a girl, and his mind says Goddess Durga. So that idea of the RTT gone. Did you understand what I'm saying? That's why I laid the background. That idea of the RTT has gone. Oh, the sensual pleasure, from the opposite gender is already gone. And the mind naturally says, oh, okay, this is an epitome of the peace. This is an epitome of love. This is an epitome of joy. This is an epitome of creation. Did you get it? It is pertaining to the RTT. So this is what he is saying. I told you 15 years ago, but that's okay. It takes time. It takes time. That is all. Thank you very much.
Thank
Namaste,
you.
sir.
Namaste.
Thank you, everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.